Now let's go fix this error that React doesn't know what this is. What we're going to do, if you don't know, to stop the server, you hit Control-C. And I think that works on any platform. You send an interrupt command to it and say, stop this, right? So here I'm going to say now npm install without the capital D, because these are production dependencies, React and React-DOM, like that. So this is going to go install our two packages off of the npm registry. Take a second to do that. Okay, now instead of going back in my index.html, I'm going to delete these two script files because I don't want to load these off the CD anymore. I want to load them off of my local computer. So delete that. So all we have is the root and our app.js. Okay, now we're going to go back into app.js. And we're going to say up here, import React from React. So this is going to import the default export from the React package. Okay, and we're going to say import, and I'm going to say render like this with between curly braces from React-DOM. Now, some of you might not be seeing this auto-completion here. That extension is called npm IntelliSense, which again is here. npm IntelliSense, right there. Quite useful. So import render from React-DOM is what we want that one to come from. So I show you this. I could have just done import without the curly braces here and said React DOM like this. Now this would work because this is called React DOM down here. But I want to show you how to import a specific thing. So I want to import just render from React DOM. So this is saying React DOM has a specific export called render, and I want you to import just that. Okay? And then down here, just erase the render. So it's just render like that. So I want to say this is similar to destructuring. It's not technically not destructuring. This is just how modules work. But this is just saying React DOM has a specific thing that says export render equals something. Yeah, question?
When you're using an import statement, how do you know whether or not you should use the curly braces? Like, is that just for if you want to import one specific feature?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's, for example, here from React, I can actually import specific things. So like, I can actually just import create element because it specifically exports that, right? And then I wouldn't be using, right? I'd just be using create element like that.
Okay.
In general, I would encourage you to do specific exports most of the time because Parcel will do a thing for you called tree shaking. It actually uglifies the actual thing that does the tree shaking, but what that does is it's live code inclusion. So it'll only include code that could ever potentially run. So in this particular case, let's say React DOM had 1,000 methods and we're only importing one, right? It would not include the other 999 if they packaged it correctly, which is a big if because most of them don't. But like a good example that would be like Lodash, right? Lodash is a huge library. It has like 200 methods, right? And no one ever uses all 200 methods, right? So what you want to do with that is you want to import just the few methods that you use, and then it won't include the other ones, right? That's kind of the benefit there, potentially. It doesn't always work out that way. For me, it just helps me to be explicit that I know this only uses render from React DOM. So what I wanted to get to is this actually isn't helpful. Because if you include React DOM, you get the whole thing because it's not packaged for tree shaking. And the other thing is that there's not a lot of like wasteful stuff inside of React DOM, so there's not a lot to tree shake out anyway. So now if we save this and go back over to our project, it should still work, right? So now you have to run the project, of course. npm run dev, like that. Once that's finished building, you can see, let's just look at JS files that it's loading. It's only loading this app.js file. And it's not loading anything else. It's not loading like those other files from the repo. So you can see that React is now being included inside of our app.js instead of being loaded from some other CDN. And you can see that it's much larger than it used to be. Yeah, now it's 965 kilobytes instead of being like the probably 5 it was before, because it includes React. Now keep in mind, this is the development environment, which means it's massive, right? If I package this for production, it would be much, much smaller. So don't worry about file sizes until you actually do like the production builds. So just keep that in mind. Right now, this project would probably be like 35 kilobytes, I'd guess, because React is about 32.